Hello, everyone. Today we have a very interesting story about a boy who was known for being lazy, but in the end, he surprised everyone with his clever thinking. By the time you finish this story, you will learn how even lazy people can overcome their habits when they have a strong reason to work hard. So stay with us till the end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled among rolling hills and lush fields, there lived a boy named Ethan. Unlike the other children in his village who eagerly helped their parents with farm work, Ethan was known for his laziness. He always sought the easiest tasks in the field, much to his father's dismay. Ethan's clever mind, however, was always at work, finding ways to avoid hard labor. One day, he devised an ingenious rope system that would scare away birds from the crops without him having to move much. He'd simply tug on the rope from his comfortable spot under a shady tree, and the scarecrows would dance, frightening the birds away. His father watched Ethan's antics with a mixture of concern and amusement. While he worried about his son's future, he chose not to scold him, hoping that Ethan would learn the value of hard work on his own. As summer approached, fate decided to teach Ethan a lesson. His father fell ill, leaving the boy with the daunting task of managing the entire field by himself. At first, Ethan tried to rely on his clever tricks, but soon he realized that real farming required more than just ingenuity. Days passed, and the crops began to wither. The once vibrant green leaves turned yellow, and the fruit started to shrivel. Ethan, unused to the demands of hard work, found himself overwhelmed. He tried to water the plants and tend to them, but his lack of experience and stamina showed. The villagers whispered among themselves, shaking their heads at the sight of the dying field. Just when things seemed bleakest, a royal messenger arrived in the village square. The soldier, dressed in gleaming armor, announced a grand competition to be held at the king's palace. The winner would receive a prize beyond imagination, enough to solve all of Ethan's problems. Without hesitation, Ethan decided to join the competition. The villagers laughed when they heard his plan. Lazy Ethan, competing against the kingdom's finest. Impossible, they scoffed. But Ethan paid no heed to their mockery. For the first time in his life, he felt a burning desire to succeed, to prove himself, and to save his family's farm. The day of the competition arrived, and Ethan set off for the palace, determination etched on his young face. The first challenge was to cross a vast lake. While other contestants dove in and swam with all their might, Ethan paused. He looked around, his mind racing. Then, with a grin, he gathered some logs and vines, quickly fashioning a crude raft. As the swimmers struggled against the currents, Ethan calmly paddled across on his makeshift raft. He may not have been the fastest, but he finished third, much to everyone's surprise. The onlookers whispered in amazement, "Perhaps there's more to this lazy boy than meets the eye." The final challenge was the most daunting yet. Contestants had to move a massive wooden block across a field. Strong men strained and sweated, pushing with all their might. Ethan, however, stood back and observed. Then, to everyone's astonishment, he pulled out a small knife and began carving the block. Hours passed, and the other contestants made slow progress. But Ethan worked tirelessly, his hands moving with newfound purpose. As the sun began to set, he stepped back, revealing his creation, a perfectly round ball. With a gentle push, he set the wooden sphere rolling across the field, easily outpacing his competitors. The crowd erupted in cheers as Ethan's ball crossed the finish line first. The lazy boy had won. The king himself came down to congratulate him, impressed by his creative thinking and determination. As Ethan accepted his prize, he realized that his journey had taught him a valuable lesson. Laziness could be overcome with creativity and strong motivation. He had proven that smart thinking could indeed beat brute strength. Returning to his village, Ethan was no longer the same lazy boy. He applied his newfound work ethic and creative problem-solving skills to revive his family's farm. The withering crops soon flourished under his care, and the village marveled at the transformation. Ethan's story spread far and wide, inspiring others to find clever solutions to their problems. People came from distant lands to seek his advice, and he always reminded them, it's not about avoiding work, but about working smarter. Years passed, and Ethan grew into a wise and respected man. He never forgot the lessons of that summer, the importance of hard work, the power of creativity, and the strength that comes from facing challenges head-on. As he walked through his thriving fields, Ethan often chuckled at the memory of his lazy youth. He would tell his own children, remember, being clever is good, but it's when you combine it with effort that true magic happens. And so, the tale of the clever, lazy boy became a beloved story in the kingdom, passed down through generations. It reminded everyone that within each person lies the potential for greatness, waiting to be awakened by the right motivation and a spark of ingenuity. Ethan's journey from a lazy boy to a creative problem solver showed that success isn't always about who's the strongest or the fastest. Sometimes it's about looking at challenges from a different angle and finding unique solutions. His story teaches us that laziness can be a stepping stone to innovation if we channel it correctly. It's not about avoiding work altogether, but about finding smarter ways to accomplish our goals. Ethan's rope system for scaring birds and his raft for crossing the lake were born from his desire to avoid hard work, but they demonstrated his innate creativity. Moreover, Ethan's tale reminds us of the importance of motivation. It was only when faced with a real crisis, his father, his illness, and the dying crops, that Ethan found the drive to change. This shows that sometimes we need to be pushed out of our comfort zones to discover our true potential. The competition at the king's palace wasn't just a test of strength or speed, it was a test of character. Ethan's willingness to participate, despite the mockery of his fellow villagers, showed courage. His ability to think outside the box and find unconventional solutions demonstrated that intelligence and creativity can often triumph over brute force. In the end, Ethan's transformation wasn't just about winning a competition or saving his family's farm. It was about personal growth and the realization that he had the power to change his circumstances. He learned that hard work, when combined with his natural cleverness, could lead to extraordinary results. This story serves as a powerful reminder that we should never underestimate anyone, including ourselves. The lazy boy that everyone laughed at became the hero who saved his village. It teaches us to look beyond surface appearances and to recognize the potential in every individual. Ethan's journey also highlights the value of problem-solving skills in our lives. In a world that's constantly changing, the ability to adapt and find creative solutions is more important than ever. Ethan's approach to the challenges, building a raft instead of swimming, carving the block into a ball instead of pushing it, shows us that there's often more than one way to achieve a goal. As we reflect on this tale, we're encouraged to look at our own lives and challenges differently. Where can we apply creative thinking to overcome obstacles? How can we turn our perceived weaknesses into strengths? Ethan's story inspires us to embrace our unique qualities and use them to make a positive impact on the world around us. In the end, the clever lazy boy's tale is not just a story of personal triumph. It's a testament to the human spirit's resilience and ingenuity. It reminds us that within each of us lies the potential for greatness, waiting to be unlocked by the right combination of motivation, creativity, and perseverance. So the next time you face a challenge that seems insurmountable, remember Ethan. Think creatively, work smartly, and never underestimate the power of your own potential. After all, you might just be a clever lazy boy or girl waiting to become the hero of your own story. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring life lessons and motivational stories. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next story.